Scandalous World podcast. Tonight we got a very special guest. That's right. We got people from all walks of life here on this channel. So from cops to criminals to everything in between. So tonight, strap on your seatbelts and take a ride with us. It's gonna get crazy, my guy. It's a pleasure. I appreciate
What's up,
you.
bud?
Chilling. So why don't you introduce? This is my man Davey Boy, solid dude, stand up guy. We're gonna get into it, but why don't you introduce yourself? Let them know who you are, where you're from.
Alright. So what's up, y'all? I'm a hometown boy from Boston myself. Grew up in the Rosendale, Hyde Park area. So I'm 58. So I'm kind of old school. Grew up, went to Westie, Rosendale, Washington Irving. And then I left Boston after college. I went to UMass Amherst. Got a degree in art and design. And back when I graduated, there weren't really much jobs. We had this little depression going on where, it was kind of tough out there.
Right.
So, I was just, wanted some change. I met this girl from Michigan,
Okay.
working in social services at the New England Home for Little Wanderers.
Oh,
so
wow.
she was like, she's doing a senior project. She went to Kalamazoo College.
Okay.
So, I was just like, I get out of town a little, see what the world's about, just, Boston, just my whole life.
Right.
So I moved to Michigan, and I decided to go into public safety, police,
Yeah,
fire.
and we were gonna get into that
Yeah,
because
yeah.
public safety. And I pulled out my other phone just so I could see the live chat. Salute to everybody in the building. I appreciate you. You know where it's at. You're here with us. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. So I appreciate you. I got the chat right here so I can shout them out. But I want to get into that, the public safety, because I know you're pro marijuana. You're very strong on that.
Right.
Medicinal use, etc. So we're gonna be talking about that, your time in Michigan, New Orleans, and Boston, and the difference between the states, and
Right.
kind of the things you've been through, even on the other side of things,
Yeah.
right? You ended up having to sit down yourself. So
Oh,
we're gonna get
yeah.
into that. We're gonna get into all that. So why don't you start at the beginning? When we were in Detroit,
Right,
we were in New Orleans and Boston.
Yeah.
What had transpired at first?
So, I worked in Michigan, and I worked the city of Kalamazoo, the public safety, so we had police, fire, and EMS. So
Okay.
they kind of merged the departments, and you just had a seat man
Okay.
and a guy driving the fire truck.
Yep.
All the manpower was the officer on the street. You had the
Yeah.
fire gear in the back of the car.
Yep.
So if you were working out of a station, like Station 6,
Yep.
and they called there was a fire, and they called your engine to go,
Yep.
you would respond in your police car.
Right.
You get out there, put on your fire gear, back your car, go in and fight the fire. You're the manpower.
Right.
Then you go back, take a shower, smelling like smoke, and you go back and out in the street taking calls. So they combined both departments. We had a lot
Right.
of training. I mean, the fortunate part was we did have a lot of training. It took me 2 years of training before I was allowed to be out in the street
Right.
by myself. So,
Have any smoke damage or like anything with anything serious?
not when I was going in that, there's a few old school firefighters left that would, go in without masks, but there was a lot of policies. Our department was trained,
Sure.
we had a training department,
Right.
right? And it's very different. I
Okay.
think that's a problem that, we have with a lot of departments nowadays, and the lack of training, the interaction and
It's crucial.
It is. I mean, because, I learned when I came from Boston, I grew up, I was in High Park, I grew up in High Point Village.
Different
High
breed.
Point Village.
Different
The
breed.
village. So I grew up there, and all different, I'm part Latino,
Right.
Russian, I got a lot of different things in me. So,
Different times back
different
then
times.
in
It was
Boston,
all about
Massachusetts. It's
respect.
crazy. Yeah.
But it was about respect.
Right.
So when I went out there and I first worked the streets, I learned, listen, I was like, damn, I'm in someone else's hood, right? And I'm working some hood. And I'm like, if some shit was to go down, I would want the community to say, hey, he's a cool officer, right?
Right.
He knows how he respects us,
Yeah.
let's help him out, right? Because
Yeah.
you're out there alone for the
Good,
most part.
yeah.
You back up, but how long you got for something to happen to go down and go
Right.
wrong.
Right.
So I learned, you got to respect other people's neighborhoods.
Mm.
Also, I learned is there are a lot of good people in neighborhoods that dudes coming outside into other neighborhoods to do shit.
Right.
So that's just how it is.
Yeah.
So, and the people, they're scared. They don't want to do
Right.
nothing. So,
When I was young, it was like that. It was almost
Right.
like Robin Hood, steal from the rich and give to the poor.
Yeah, yeah.
We never would steal bikes, etc. For example, little stuff,
Right.
just as stuff as bikes growing up the projects. We knew to go to other nicer neighborhoods and steal that stuff, not steal from
Yeah.
each other, because we know we're all in the same shit.
Right.
We're all in the,
George Wright
Poverty.
Golf Course, where we go take the carts out,
Right,
right? Down
right.
Metro cops will be chasing us
Right.
down Turtle Pond Parkway and shit. So, no, we all been there. I say, I don't judge no one.
Right.
Because, the difference between, me and someone that went away or did something was they were caught. I wasn't.
Right.
Okay, we all messed up.
Exactly,
We all did,
exactly.
we all did shit that, we could probably
You go
gotten
through
some
and you
serious
go
trouble
through
for.
it,
You
right.
go through it, right? You make mistakes.
But not everyone gets caught.
Right. And
I
that's the
say that
difference.
when sometimes you'll see dudes on here that have cases and they're prison dudes and they'll brag about stuff, and I say sometimes the only difference is you got caught. Like, and the humble ones
Right.
understand what I'm saying respectfully, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's real refreshing to hear a public safety worker acknowledge and refer to somebody's hood, understanding that, listen, I come from a neighborhood, I know this is their neighborhood, I'm gonna go in there
Right.
with respect, conduct myself respectfully, give respect to get respect, type thing.
But it works both ways, and the problem nowadays too is, so back when I was on, it's 15 plus years ago.
Mm.
It was long, and I stayed about 12 years. Is all I could deal with the,
Okay,
the
okay.
politics and all that bullshit. I was like, all right, went to the fire truck, and I just did straight firefighting for 3 or 4 years before.
Right.
And I won't go into my whole. I got stories on
Yeah,
stories. on
we'll
that
get into it a little bit, but
exactly, I'll leave that behind. But I tell you what, the other thing I learned too is though you got to remember. We could have a little compassion back then.
Right.
Someone has a little drink and park the car, take the keys, and
Yeah.
I pull. He's got a little dime bag, listen,
Yeah. Yeah.
bang, throw it down the drain,
something
go on your way, right?
something pocket knife, something minuscule. You could just
Right.
you're not looking at bust balls.
Because there was mutual respect. When we
Right.
get into a foot pursuit and some kid's got a bunch of crack up his crack, and you catch him, it's like a game. Ah, you got me, It's,
Right.
when the
Yeah.
game was over, right?
Yeah.
And it would start a new day, because most of the officers out there, it's a job. They
Yeah.
take that uniform on.
Yeah.
They're like everyone else. Like, damn,
Exactly.
I wish I could.
You
I could
got your
smoke a
good
fatty,
ones and you
right?
got your bad ones.
Like
I remember
everything.
my cousin is from Compton.
Right.
He's from California. He lives in California. He worked for the Compton Firefighters. He was the youngest fire captain in the history. He's all inked up. He was in Ink magazine. But I remember him telling me specifically, and he had a show on BET for a while actually. Linked up with Tyrese. Puffy donated fire trucks to their station. Missy Elliott, the game, Travis Barker, they all came out and showed respect.
Right.
There was a show on TV about the Compton firefighters. But he had specifically told me, which stuck out with your story, is that he had to basically become an EMT as well. He had to study this to do that and kind of be on call for both. Because it
Right,
really
right.
was going down out there, especially in Compton, California. I mean,
Right.
It's
like, doing 2 jobs of public safety gave me an opportunity to see 2 sides of it. When someone calls the police, most of the time you don't want to see the police. So you get in an attitude right
Yo,
off the bat, right?
that's funny,
You got to
but-
be like that. But when
that's
you're a
funny.
firefighter and grandma's dying, you're like, yeah,
Right.
come save the day.
That's funny that
So
you
you
say
get both
that.
worlds.
It's funny that you say that because my next question was gonna be, or statement I was thinking this whole time we've been speaking, is there's kind of a stigma, right? Like
Yeah.
in the hood, it's like we have a certain, and this is with all due respect, we have a certain view of firefighters. And then
Right.
the police, it's kind of like you're on alert with the police. You got just
Mhm.
from years of experience, you get your good ones and your bad ones. But when it comes to the firefighters or 911, your friend gets shot, someone overdoses, you're quick to call 911. You're not as scared to see the EMTs and the firefighters as you are if it was the police. So there's a little bit of a stigma there where
Right.
they were doing both for service, but there was only one that we were afraid of, and one it's like we almost respected more because we didn't have to be as guarded, if you will.
It was like working in a bipolar world.
Right.
You hated your half the time.
That's
I loved you the right
Massachusetts.
time, right? It is. It's like crazy. But, here's the other thing you have to think too, though. Especially back when I was on. So we talk about dirty cops and like every profession. You have that small percentage that make large percentage of bad. But the thin blue line. So interior, y'all can report cops and everyone record them and whatever you want. But
Yeah.
when you work in a department and you try to, we all know who's dirty, we
Right.
all know who's ass, we all know who's racist, we all know, but there's no real system to report that because you do, and you try to do the right thing, you become blackballed. You can work the worst
Yeah,
neighborhood and have your
shadow
partner come up and say, I ain't backing you up tonight, motherfucker,
Right.
because you reported out.
Yeah.
So not only you consider snitch within,
Right.
so you want to go home at night, like this is a fucking job.
Yeah.
Like I
No,
want to go
they're
home.
blue gang.
That's
This is
why
like-
when all this shit went south around, 5 years ago, all the veteran cops said, "Fuck it, I'm done." This is just, and that's where you see, you got a lot of young officers out there with not a lot of training, and some frankly shouldn't be doing the job
Right.
because they're stressing out. So everyone's trigger happy now.
Yeah.
It's like before we had a cool, I go up to you,
Yeah.
lean on your car, say, what's
Yeah,
up,
we
right?
shoot this shit.
But now it's like
I
all
ain't
like
doing nothing.
shit,
Yeah.
all like fuck it, because
Well, you know
everyone's so
what I know?
uptight. No one talks.
And you're right, because what I noticed in the past, at least, when I was in the streets and I was up to no good in the criminal element, if you will, in the streets and stuff, I would always rather be pulled over by a vet, an old school cop, than get like a young rookie trying to prove himself, because he's gonna have a hard time. You don't know what kind of shit you're gonna get
Right.
in. He's still trying to earn a name and prove himself and shit. So it was a breath of fresh air to get an old school cop getting pulled over or getting bagged or chased back in the day, because you already knew you were gonna get with them. The straight shooters, if, like if it ain't that serious, they're probably gonna just give you a slap on the wrist, and they're not looking to make a name for themselves and nothing like that. They're already established and respected, if you will, in their own rights and way. So that there's a complete difference between a veteran and a rookie. And even as a criminal back in the day, we would almost rather the vet, even though he might rough you up or give you tough love or give you some shit or bust your balls or whatever. You didn't have to worry about getting shot or nothing crazy like that, because they were not just trained, but they have experience.
They had compassion. They allowed us to have compassion. I mean, here's the thing, you gotta think of this too. So, I was a training officer. Just like I told, I trained a lot of young officers.
Right.
And I say to everyone, I mean, we all had that boss that shouldn't have been a boss. Just like power goes through his head. He's like, he's just that guy.
Yeah.
No, everyone's worked for that guy.
Right.
So when you give someone, a young man or woman, a badge and a gun, what that does is they say, that gives that officer permission to either take your freedom away or your life. The two most valuable things in the world to anyone, you just gave one person that power with
Right.
that badge and gun.
Yeah.
So some people don't handle power that
That's
way.
right. Not everyone's prepared for the power.
Exactly. They
I
don't
never
know
looked at it like that.
And it is all these many powers.
Yeah.
So part of the big overall power, but that gives someone. So if you have
With
someone
great
that
power comes great responsibility. Not to quote Spider-Man, but it's so true.
psychological exams, there need to be more, and background checks. And the problem is, who wants to do the job though nowadays? So you get
Psychiatric evaluation as well. Got to take a toll on you.
But nowadays with the other predicament you're in is you get the B team of it, because after what's gone on, too extreme, without understanding the dynamics of training and what you're trying to do is really hardened.
Right.
And some of that's coming to real life now, and others tried warning of this coming on. Now we're trying to put a band-aid on a big
On a dam.
and you know as well as I do,
Pressure
organizations see the weakness now,
Of
like,
course.
yay, it's
Of course.
open season,
Right.
so to say, and no one's bringing that. It's just like you give a little kid too much power, and they don't know how to handle
The
it.
dynamics
It's
is
right, and that is all throughout anything. So if you lose control, you just don't. So there's a balance. It was there used to be
Right.
balance. Now it's just like, listen, you gotta respect. Everyone's gotta respect each other. Because
I
dollar down.
always say a little respect goes a long
Long
way.
way.
Like I say it each and every day, especially on YouTube. I remind my viewers to stay humble. You know what I mean? Stay solid, stay sharp, stay strong, stay smart. But with everything we got going on today, if we weren't doing what we were doing today, and you had to go back, would it be firefighting or police position?
Firefighter. I really did. I liked the aspect at first. Plus, it was the highest paying department in the state because
Right.
we do the two jobs, and there was a lot of opportunity.
Right.
So I kind of knew. I think at the beginning of my mind that something. I'm ADD, so I I've done. And I move on. So I knew that I wasn't gonna be retiring out of there, nothing like that. It was a
Right.
good experience. I wanted to get it, see what it's about, meet people, and then I was on to my next adventure.
Right.
So that's what my life has been.
Right.
So
Yeah, no, it
so
seems
I
like
consider
it.
it. I got out of it. Yes, am I proud of what? Yes, I am proud of what I did and some of the sacrifices I made and some of the things that have gone on today because of that.
Right.
But I'm no different than anyone else. Is just trying to see if I can make it out there.
Yeah, trying to stay above water.
Trying to stay above
nowadays,
water.
you
That's
know?
what most cops are. They're not. They want to go home. They got
Yeah.
wife and kids. They don't be hating like want to come out and just fuck with people every day.
Right.
That's to me. I would sit in the fucking school parking lot and looking at the sky. Most
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
taking calls
chilling.
after domestic shit. You know, do you think I want to deal with that?
Guns, yeah.
So Christmas Eves and stuff. You know, so it is. You gotta just people just gotta look at it two ways. You know, there's no there's no right or wrong. It's
kind of that area shaded gray.
It's just common sense.
Right. Yeah.
Common sense.
So Michigan was one place. That's one
Yeah.
state. So the it's just so versatile. It's so different, like from Boston, from Michigan
Then
to New Orleans.
Dallas, well, first in
Dallas.
Dallas, Texas. For
That's what I want to ask, like the
and then
difference between.
Shreveport, Louisiana.
Because Detroit's no joke. I know Michigan's no joke, but I know down south, New Orleans is no
different,
joke.
dude. So it's what the South was. I love the South, for a lot of reasons. The
Yeah.
weather, get away from the fucking cold snow.
In
shit.
Mardi Gras, New Orleans,
Gras,
famous,
the
Louisiana,
music. See, I'm a big music.
the culture,
It is.
the history.
The history and everything. But it's different. Like, the South is just. So a lot of kids have to, they're in uniforms and they call you Mr. Dave.
Right.
Mr.
The Southern hospitality is real. Let me just
say.
say real quick, I went to Alabama, Virginia,
Orange
West
Beach.
Virginia, Richmond, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida. It was so different. The Massachusetts people are cutting you off. Fuck you,
fuck you.
motherfucker.
I come back in, I go
You
all
go-
stressed right away. I sit in the state. I'm
You
like,
go to a
oh my god, I'm
restaurant,
gonna kill someone.
The waiter's gonna walk by you six
Yeah.
times before you gotta beg him, practically
Exactly.
chase her and tackle her down for a refill. But down south, they're like, oh, excuse me, sir, before your glass is even half empty, they're like, let me get that for you.
Right.
Like, the Southern hospitality is real. It's much different than Massachusetts, I can tell you that much. It's a lot different. The
Yeah, they'll
Southern
tell you to fuck
hospitality-
off, spit in your fucking drink,
Bro.
and then expect you to tip them 25%.
I've been in strip clubs in Massachusetts. Like, you take out your phone, you're getting tackled by 4 policemen, two bodyguards, and
That's crazy,
and 2 bouncers. Right down south in South Carolina, and they're closing at 2 a.m. When I was in South Carolina, I was in VIP with the waitress, smoking weed, drinking. Like, they stayed open till 4 or 5 in the morning just for me and my cousin, because they think we got money because we're from Massachusetts. We got the accents. We're down on work. You know what I mean? We're working, and it was just like
It's just like,
It's a
anyway,
great
you just gotta know
experience.
where to stay. Like, it's like Boston. Yeah, there's bad areas in New Orleans, but you know where to
Right.
stay out of those
Yeah,
areas.
yeah.
You don't fuck
You know how
around.
to
You
move.
just
You
stay
gotta know how to
out there,
move.
right? You gotta
Yeah.
be street smart. We go anywhere.
Mm.
Everyone's on the phones nowadays, so everyone's a victim. I
They're
look
not
at people
aware of
with
their surroundings.
No, I mean,
Okay,
it's
there's like no
easy
such thing
targets.
as hyper observance
Yeah,
nowadays,
there
unless you're a
is.
cop or criminal.
Exactly. So it's it's a good time. It was I love the South, and I spent many years between stumbling into the film industry. Oliver Stone in a bar, and he invited me down to do movie W.
Okay.
And since I left the department, he wanted me to just check guys' uniforms, actors, and
Make sure it was
everything's official. Yeah, make sure the gun was on the way.
Official, like the referee with the whistle.
Right. So I did police consulting, and then I moved into armorer and weapons master. I mean, like Colombiana, Snitch. Worked with a lot of big
Oh,
actors.
those are some good movies. Those are some of my favorites right there. I'm a movie buff. Everyone who knows I'm a history buff and a movie buff.
Right.
And them are 2 good movies right there.
I did a lot of consulting. I moved into more than stunt acting and stunt driving, and did a lot of that for a while. And just worked. They had a great tax incentive going at that time, so they tracked. You guys wouldn't believe how much film was done back in that period between 2009 and 2000, maybe 20. No, maybe before that, maybe about 18. How many films were made in Louisiana because of the tax incentive?
Yeah.
So
I was just watching the
crazy.
show. I think it's called Mayfair Witches, and it's out of
crazy filming.
it's out of New Orleans.
Right, there's so many. I mean, that was just a little, a few of them. I think my first thing was on Billy the Exterminator. Was my first episode ever being on TV, but I didn't expect it. And then I was hooked though, and I just loved it. And I did that for like 10, 11 years straight in the industry. They lost tax incentive, some other things changed in my life, and mom's had an accident, moved back to Boston, and kind of rebuilt, my life a little bit, and
Gonna acclimate back to the mass holes and Massachusetts and all that comes with it. But
the crazy ass woman though. I'm sorry.
I always say,
Oh shit.
the women out here.
Right.
I like the weather out
Oh
here.
my god.
Bipolar. Respectfully, we're all entertainment. Allegedly. But no.
But it was I came home, family got back to Mass, and crazy things, I have business, kitchen cabinet distribution, and and design, and then
That's awesome. That's good money. And I did that for a few years, and it was busy. We were busy all day, every day,
crazy.
especially out here.
Right.
But that granite marble was heavy.
No, it's good. It's a good. It's a real good business.
Right.
And then a chance meeting again. I knew I'd be going back to doing film stuff someday, but
You know what they say?
Yes.
There's no business like show business.
I loved it.
Or in the streets they say there's no business like business. I'm not gonna say it. No. But anyways, yeah. So we gotta get into that. It
That's
must
some
feel
pretty
great
crazy
doing what
things.
you're doing now. You know.
yeah, it's a whole new adventure, a whole new aspect. I didn't really expect it.
Yeah.
When we met,
Yeah.
well, we've known each other, but when we did the production, the opportunity to do the St.
Right.
Patrick's Day production.
And that's one thing I did talk about. I didn't leave too
you
much, but I
can.
did talk about St. Patrick's Day.
Yep.
I did talk about the documentary a little bit, but I
Right.
talked more about the experience being in the float and meeting Jalen Brown and James Common and John Shea and this one and that one and Big
Yeah.
X and Lila and Davy Boy. It was just like a family affair. The family was there, you know. It was
Right.
awesome.
I got a chance to put that together for him, and it went really well. The
Daddy did.
producer in that, and then it led to me being a great young director, upcoming. He's like a young, in my opinion, like a young Quentin Tarantino. He's just waiting. He's a boxer, dude. So he's like for real. He's just
Sounds like a
he's
dangerous
so
dog.
talented. He's so talented. His name's Zane. So Danger Dog Productions.
Shout out
on
Zane.
YouTube. Zane, Danger Dog Productions. So he's out of Cali. We hooked up, started creating. I wrote some scripts during my years. One almost got produced, and I'm back to creating and writing. And we decided, dude, I came up with this idea one night with you, and we were just talking after the parade because he
Yeah.
liked you. So
Crazy.
we're on the phone saying, dude,
Man, it was awesome meeting him. Just for the record, he was talking about doing music videos for me, and I'm like, man, if me and Zane do a music video,
Yeah,
it's over.
great.
And obviously you'll be involved in some behind the scenes stuff, and just know I'll have the props ready to go, bro. I'll be out there with the gun shows, you know. But that would be awesome, man. I'd love to shoot a music
Yeah.
video with Zane. Shout out to Danger Dog Productions.
So we started talking one night, and I'm smoking with sativa.
Right.
My brain's just crackling.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, it'd be funny if we like put Ronnie in a SWAT outfit. All I saw is his eyes, no tattoos, nothing, right? And he's the most badass, but he's the baddest shooter. Like, everyone's behind him, right? And then after done with the operation, he takes off, and there's Ronnie all tatted up like back, yo, what's up? Where's my ladies at?
Yeah.
So that type of thing. And
Where the
then
ladies at?
he's like, he loved it.
Yeah.
And then, bang, 2 days later, we had a full script
Awesome.
that now I've gone over and kind of put some fine touches on it, get more of the language, piece language down, and we decided we're going to do it, and we're going to film. And
The
our
chat's loving
concept is it'll be a SAG production, it's union, so this will all be official. We're going to start with Ronnie and kind of do a local thing where we find people with nice audience or podcasts
Right.
and build some script and stories around.
And I love
their
that
character.
because you got access to so many celebrities, but the fact that you want to bring it home and grab the locals,
Yes.
I love that. Like they did with Donnie and other people, and,
Right.
and they made them these stars that
Southie.
they are today. You know, shout out to Southie, shout out to the whole crew. 30-year anniversary just celebrated, and
It's coming up.
250 years
Next year's
for this and all that. But
Yep.
yeah, around everything was kind of hitting around St. Patrick's Day, and we were kind of just celebrating everything at the same time. It was a very surreal moment in my life, and I appreciate you for that because I've been going to the St. Patrick's Day parade my whole life with my family,
Yeah.
then with my own family, and then with the team when I was young, and the teenagers of going with the squad. And shout out to those Shamrock squad. And I've been at the parade countless times, but I've never been in the parade. So to be a part of it like that, it was so surreal. I got hundreds of short videos on my YouTube. I got like 19, I'll just say 19 for this god. I got like 19 videos on YouTube, 100 short videos, and at least 3 or 4 lives of that day. And I've captured so many awesome moments. But I've been waiting to break this news. So I'll let you know. I don't want to say too much, but I'll let
it's
you
all right.
kind of get into it.
So
and
it's
talk
official.
about what we're doing what we're going to be getting into.
Yeah, so it's official. We're hoping to start filming in mid-June is what our plans are now. So we have the script done and our
Cheers
pitch
to
packet. I've put in the paperwork for production here in Massachusetts, and we're hoping to have it ready actually by the end of the big blockbuster summer releases. It'll be shown locally first here.
That's
I believe
awesome.
we have some meetings for some local theaters and maybe some film festivals. We'll see how it goes.
That's awesome.
But we got a couple of great people signed on to begin with. We have Mark D'Alessandro, who is Sylvester Stallone's
The
former
stunt
stunt.
coordinator?
Yep.
Okay.
So he's gonna stunt coordinate. He'll be on set.
That's
We have
awesome.
Joe Lawler, who you know,
Yep. Shout out to Joe.
Zane,
Lace up.
myself obviously.
Yeah.
I get to play the.
The
So I
big
go from
homie
cop.
X,
I get to
double
go
X.
from playing. I get to go from the cop to playing the cartel.
Yeah,
badass.
yeah. Bro. It's kind of like we're switching roles in a way. I don't want to say too much, but
Right.
in this we're really stepping out of our element and trying
Yeah.
different things, and it's really gonna test our character and our ability at the end of the day to do something different and grow. So I'm looking forward to that. You know, that's gonna be awesome.
You're gonna kill it. So we're gonna so with our concept too is we're taking veteran actors and we're going to train new actors that already have a good background in doing podcasts or internet type of
Music
stuff,
and
music
art.
and arts. They make a good crossover because you memorize the music,
Yeah.
memorize the lines.
Yeah.
You're familiar with the camera.
Yeah, you're
spotlight,
comfortable in
that
front of the camera. It
comfortable.
takes a while to get
It does.
comfortable in
It
front
really
of the
does.
crowd to rock a show, comfortable in front of the camera to do a music
Exactly.
video. And I always been saying lately, kind of joking, but really serious, saying I went from rapper to podcaster
Right.
/ actor. Like that's my
Exactly.
that's my new line right there because it's like it's so true. I put in years, I put in decades rapping, and then this past almost 5, maybe 6 years, ever since COVID, I've been doing the podcasting for years,
Right.
and just now it started to become as successful as it is, and I'm grateful and I'm appreciative. But it took a lot of work and a lot of time for it to get where it's at. But I've been saying that a lot lately. From rapper to podcaster / actor, like I'm manifesting this shit, and now it's all coming
Right.
true. It's
Exactly.
awesome.
That's awesome, dude. So we're looking forward to it. So that's our plan right now, and we're looking to have a good shoot and start spreading the word. We're
Yeah.
gonna start posting some little shorts and some videos that we're doing. We're gonna get the word out there, and keep an eye out for it. That's about all I can say right now.
So okay, so
keep it.
we can't say too much. We
But-
can't say too much.
But he's gonna be rocking it. We had a little fun tonight, so we'll be throwing out some
Yeah,
footage and
I
everything.
can't
after
wait
your
for the
show.
promo, man. I'm a promotional beast. I used to promote all my own
Yes.
music. I've had record labels hit me up like, man, if I had artists that went half as hard as you promoting, it'd make my
Right.
job a whole lot easier. Because
Yeah.
once I get my hands on something, I'm sharing it to every social media platform I got. I'm passing out flyers in the hood. I'm giving out free hoodies and CDs and
There you
T-shirts, and I'm just a monster with it. So look
Isn't it
forward.
badass?
I can't say too much, but I don't play
Oh,
too
yeah.
much. No, we for real.
If you like Sicaro and you like shoot 'em up movies and you like corrupt cops that
Yeah, anything,
It's a
anything,
twist and plot,
crooked as the
so-
letter S, you know what I mean? And
So you like this, you
cops
like
and
this.
criminals and
Come
Boston
watch.
in general.
come
I mean,
support
it
our
really-
local man. Come
yeah,
support him.
yeah, appreciate
So-
you, bro. And it really has a Boston feel to it.
Mhm.
It really hits home. Like I won't
Right.
say too much, but stay tuned.
And if anyone has some good networks, and we don't want no bullshit here, we're dealing with
Right.
professionals. So if anyone really got networks of people that might be interested in taking a part in this, the acting's pretty all set, but on some showing it, promotional stuff, get in touch with Ronnie and get in touch with me, and we'll see what you do all about. Because
My
we
God.
want to use local people for a lot of the stuff we're doing. So
and that's awesome. That's awesome. Like, and that's what's
it's
gonna
gonna
make
be mass Boston area local.
Mass
film.
mania, it's mass
Yeah, that's what it's
hysteria,
all
and that's
about.
what's gonna make it awesome because that's what makes it authentic
Exactly.
by having
Real
genuine Massachusetts, New England, Boston people
Exactly.
in the project.
Promote it in Boston. Keep Boston working in the films and introduce new people into film jobs.
Yeah,
It's
like
like
movies
online
coming here.
training.
We're gonna be the new Hollywood. They had, they started with
Right.
Southie. Then they had The Departed and Black Mass in the Town. Shout out to the Lace Up podcast. And then they had The Equalizer was
Right.
big, and now they got Boston Blues with Donnie Wahlberg and all types of shows and twist offs and series. And The Equalizer with Denzel Washington was awesome, and that was current. That wasn't
Yes.
nothing that too long ago.
Well, the
Departed-
different thing we're doing too is that we're taking people and training them in our films at like our first AD in film positions. So filming has changed right now with, you no longer have these you do have a few of the big ones, but not many. It's shifting to a smaller crew, faster times, filming, a lot of editing being done with some AI stuff, which
Right.
could be, there's a big debate. AI can be useful
Yeah.
in certain applications.
I've been hating on AI for a minute. Everyone
some
knows
of the
out there that
stuff-
supports me. I was like, boycott AI, because it's like kind of taken away from artists and music and podcasters and journalists. But then I do see the upside when I start seeing it used right in a professional manner. You know,
So it handles a
responsibly.
lot of, like, so there's a lot of things AI, it's not necessarily the whole film's AI and fake
Right.
and everything. There's a lot of behind the
but
scenes
CGI
stuff.
enhancement.
Well, not even with the CGI, it's just making things flow a lot better within the filming environment. So
Okay.
it's not just like on the screen, it's behind the screen.
Okay.
Instead of, positions where things aren't overlapping,
Right.
communication, prompts and schedules and all types of things and
Yeah.
logistics with the actors flying in and out and on set. So it handles more than just the front where you see.
Right.
It handles a lot of back end operations where there is a lot of waste. Like
Yeah.
5 assistants doing
Yeah.
nothing all day long.
Cheers for
Right?
that.
You know what I mean? They're getting paid all this money, but that was the downfall of big films. But
Mhm.
the good part about that is that the independents and the smaller productions that are making films for 50 to
The indies are
150,000.
going crazy right
It's
now.
not even it is an indie.
The
but
independents, I mean.
they're becoming more streamlined, and you're seeing a lot of this stuff
Right.
because there's so many different distribution channels. So you could have regular people making it, and that's what we're all about: is making regular people that haven't had that golden child chance to be born into
I like
fucking
that.
like Tom
I like that.
Cruise
Yeah, I like
or
that.
Will Smith or whoever,
Silver
right?
spoon
We don't
shit. You
exactly
had
to give you a
The
career.
hard way.
People are trying to make it. So how many opportunities do they make it? So now we're going to create
I like
opportunities to make it. Now it's up to you to memorize this script and
Yeah.
come to play, and you come with experienced actors, and you become a actor.
That. No, I
So it's
appreciate
through
it.
training. So this is like on the job training,
Yeah.
and it's our first film.
That's how I knew it wasn't bullshit.
Yeah,
I've had movie offers in the past. Anyone who's been following me knows the story with me and Black Mass. I was almost in the Black Mass movie. I had pictures on set, Black Mass, Johnny Depp, the whole nine. They had me take off my shirt, took pictures of my tattoos, was talking about covering half of them up because it took place in another time. Like, I was so close, but because of my godfather, my father, their relationship with the Irish alleged mob in Boston and Kevin Weeks, cooperating and all that. It was a conflict of interest. They asked me to not be involved, and out of respect for my last name and their name, I had to respectfully step back. But there was other movies that I'm supposed to be filming now, and they offered me roles, but I never heard stuff like acting coach and stunt coordinator and this and that and investment. And this one right away I knew was the real deal, Holyfield.
There's a lot in this industry, a lot of people that talk. I mean, being involved in it heavily, I worked 10 years straight, in it from one production to the next, with 40 film credits. And so you look it up, Dave Lee Valley, and, on IMDb or any of the.
Yeah, I seen
worked
you on a
heavy.
show once. We was in
Yeah.
here, I was watching something, and you popped up. I'm like, bro, is that young Davey
So
boy?
you see the credits, and it's actually on. So after working in that so heavily, I mean, I need a break too. That shit wears you down.
Yeah,
You're working
facts.
long.
I could imagine.
It's so you need a break every once in a while from anything.
Right.
But it's
Too much of anything is
too much of
no
anything. But it's like any other industry. It's a cutthroat
Of
industry, and you gotta be on your. So now I'm better prepared than I ever was to do what we're doing. It's more, for me, it's more behind the scenes creating. We have this is only the first.
good.
We have a dog movie coming
Yeah.
out, military dog. That's
Yeah.
gonna be the big one.
That's awesome.
Dog movie.
I'm
We have-
dying
we
to
have a horror
start.
movie.
I'm dying to
An
start a
alien horror
Viking movie.
movie. Yeah,
Just
there
put
you
me
go.
in a Viking movie, man. I got the Viking bun going on, man. I got the facial hair. Just give me the battle axe and the fur. Send me in the battle, and I'm a berserker, like all hooked up on mushrooms with a battle axe. Like, I'm dying to just go on there and play a Viking sometime. That'd be awesome. I'm a big fans of the show Vikings and Ragnar Sons
I
and
know. I'm a
Ragnar,
big one.
Ivar the Boneless. I actually traced my lineage back to him, and I got comparison
Love it.
pictures from when I had my hair braided. We both had the bright blue eyes and stuff.
Right.
Bjorn's son and all that. I have a deep interest in just the history alone. I love the warrior culture of the Romans,
Oh yeah.
the Greeks,
That was a good
Greeks,
show. I like that a lot.
Spartans. you know,
Oh yeah.
the Mongols.
How do you do
Genghis
those movies in
Khan.
New England though?
It is, though. I know. Not a Viking movie.
No,
I feel like we
no.
could pull off a Viking movie.
Yeah, we
New
can.
Hampshire,
New Hampshire,
Maine. We
somewhere.
got some mountains. We got some
Well,
snow.
who knows? We got
could pull
5
that.
active projects now. 5.
Okay.
We got 3 developed already in scripts, and 2 new under development.
Yeah.
Pretty funny. We got comedy, action, and we have a horror movie.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a really wild one. And so we got some good shit. This
Yeah,
is just
yeah.
the beginning. You
Davey
know?
Boy Management got me like
We
all
gotta
over
do-
the
we
place.
gotta
There's
be
so much
all-
going on, but I'm so appreciative
Oh.
to you know to the media and Danger Dog and JMC
Right.
and everything and you and everything going on. Realistically,
Oh,
I'm just so appreciative and
Hey, Shitsky wants to say hi.
yeah, hey, this is Shitsky, man.
this is Shitsky for
And-
real. His
and-
name's Shitsky.
Dude, the Shitsky, you know what I'm saying? But I'm humbly, I'm honored to be involved. I appreciate it. I'm very grateful. I can't wait to get this in the works. I can't wait to be able to promote it and share more on all the social media platforms. And
Well,
once
tonight
I
we
get the
can.
green light,
Tonight's the green light.
we're
gotta
going
start-
crazy. Pictures, videos,
Yes.
trailers,
Gotta
mini,
start putting it out
all
there.
that. Yeah, man.
The script is done,
Yeah.
so all set. So we're gonna start. We're gonna start throwing it out there.
Bang, boom.
You got work to
Stay
do,
tuned.
man.
I got work to do.
Son,
you
you got
heard him.
work.
I got work to do. So I gotta
Got
get to work. You know, so
Got
I'm gonna do
some
work. I'm gonna
lines.
take this dead serious. I gotta get to work. I gotta get to reciting and rehearsing and, you know, remembering my lines. So everybody have a great night and a great time.
Yes.
This is my boy Davey Boy.
Peace. We'll
We
be
will
in
be
touch.
doing a part 2, maybe even a
Zane,
part
we're
3.
gonna bring
'cause
Zane
We're
on
barely
this.
scratching the surface. We're gonna bring in
Yeah.
Zane. Shout out
Zane.
to Danger Dog Productions.
Yep.
It's your guy Blue Eyes here with Davey Boy. Have a great night.
Good night, my friends.
Good night. Cheers.
Cheers.
My guy.